you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so today I want to talk about a sequel to a title and that was only released in the U.S. Well, actually, the sequel was only released in the U.S. And this title was one of the earlier first-party releases for the NES, and it was also one of the earlier releases by Square. No, Square, the company that had to make Final Fantasy to kind of save their company. Yeah, them. Well, this is a racing title, and while it retains a number of the conventions from its predecessor, it removes a few things and adds a few things in. So it's a perfectly balanced change as far as sequels go. It's from 1990, and today's game is Rad Racer II. Okay, so in Rad Racer II, they took out the F1 car from the first game, and you're pretty much set up the same way where you're racing across different locales, different tracks, what have you. The soundtrack, you can change it pre-race. It doesn't. I don't remember if you can change it in race or not. And there's also a turbo boost in this one versus in the first title. There's a bit of an alert to let you know which way turns or which direction you'll have to turn coming up, and stuff like that. And for all intents and purposes, those are pretty much the main changes in the game. Minus the lack of a 3D mode, because by that point, most developers realized that 3D gaming wasn't really going to work on the NES. Kind of in the same way that the Zapper stopped getting supported after a point, and the Power Glove stopped getting supported, and Power Pad, pretty much all that stuff. It's the same thing that happened with 3D. With the use of 3D in gaming. Matter of fact, only 2 or 3 games even got like official 3D glasses support in America on the NES, and that was 3D World Runner and the original Rad Racer. Rad Racer 2, however, has a really solid sense of speed. You really feel like you're accelerating up to 255 miles per hour. Also, the controls are pretty tight, and that's something that really stood out for me because Square hasn't done a racing title since, or at least they haven't done one that's been released in the US since the 2 Rad Racer titles. So to see that lets me know that Square has a really deep lineage of varied gameplay styles that's something that they could probably stand to go back to as a publisher and a developer, because this title, unlike most other Square titles in recent years, was developed by Square. The soundtrack is really fun. Much like the original Rad Racer, it feels like it's a bit of a ripoff of Outrun, but I mean, that's a good title to rip off. So, hey, and like I said before, this title is a pretty solid follow-up to its predecessor. If you find a copy of Rad Racer, you can probably get it for about $5 to $7. Anything over that is too much, because it's a fairly common racing title. It's not something that's really just in high demand. But yeah, you should definitely, if you are a fan of the original Rad Racer and you're looking for a fun racing title, pick up Rad Racer 2. It's not much different from the original. It almost feels like an expansion pack. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.